All right, GBU, first live stream heading into Super Bowl weekend. We're going to be discussing our picks. We're going to talk a little New York sports. We're talk about a lot more. So betting picks, our favorites, what we expect to see in the game. Here with JD and Reese, as always. How you guys doing today as we are in the house Super Bowl weekend?
How we doing, KB? Just trying to enjoy the last game of the year. Gonna try and make the best of it, make it last as long as possible because we're gonna miss football a lot more than we know we will.
Yeah, after this weekend, it's the start of a pretty rough stretch to get to baseball. So I'm going to cherish this game, but I'm also ready for the offseason too. I think the NFL offseason
Yep.
is one of the. I mean, obviously the season's the best part, but the offseason's got just as much in free agency and draft to talk about. I think it's electric, but we still got a bit until that. You got to get through February, and you got to get through the beginning of March until you get to free agency. So a tough stretch coming up with nothing really to talk about. Hopefully the lockout gets resolved soon.
Yeah, so we got the MLB. We're still sitting on that. Every day seems like a new meeting is coming in. And so we have the Super Bowl Sunday. Sunday night Super Bowl, Bengals, hosted by the Rams. Second home Super Bowl ever. We have back-to-back years of home Super Bowls. Never happened before. Now we have 2 seasons in a row of it. Who do you guys like in this game? We'll talk about our picks in a little bit. But who do you guys like in this game so far? And, what are we expecting to see? We got Burrow in his second season in the league, first time ever making the playoffs, takes the Bengals back to the Super Bowl. Last quarterback to do that was Boomer in the 80s, and they lost to San Fran. They have, the fan base has been through so much. We see how passionate this fan base is. But we're in LA. We got Stafford, who's been in Detroit, suffered for so long. That's a huge storyline in this. And so many different veterans with the Rams. And it's 2 different teams here. Veteran head coach and McVay, his assistants on the opposite sideline, coaching one of the youngest teams in the league in the Super Bowl. And they got a group of veterans on the Rams side, most of them who have been here before and came up short against New England. So what are you guys expecting to see? What do you want to see? And what do you hope to happen?
I'm hoping to see just a good game. I feel like it seem like the Rams is the smart pick here because of just how much the defensive line for the Rams can rule this game. I mean, I know the Bengals won against Tennessee, giving them 8-9 sacks, whatever it was. I don't think that happens again. They could still give up 3-4 sacks and win the game. But if they do what they did against Tennessee, if they fold like that, I don't know. I think this is the Rams. This is it for the Rams. This is their shot. And you never know when the Bengals are going to get back. You can't say like, "Oh, we made it this year. Burrow will take us back within the next few years." You don't know. It's never guaranteed. So this might be their shot because we know how stacked the AFC is. I like the Rams in this one. I think the D line versus the O line is a bad matchup, but Burrow can make some things happen. They got obviously the weapons outside. It's going to be fun to see Chase versus Ramsey. That's going to be electric. But I like the Rams in a close one. I think it'd be a good game. I hope it is low scoring though too. I think a lot of defense.
Yeah, JD, I agree. I was just about to say I really like the first half and first quarter under for some of my bets, but I think that both of these teams are going to start off pretty slow in the game, and then as the second half progresses, the offenses are going to start to get in rhythm, going to start to put some points on the board. I think that the game actually might end up going over, but I feel like the beginning of the game is going to be very slow. 2 quarterbacks who's never played in the big game. Everyone's going to be a little nervous, a little shaky. I'm really excited though. I really just want to enjoy it and see what kind of guys or what kind of quarterback Stafford and Burrow are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is like such a fan-friendly Super Bowl if your teams aren't in it.
Yeah.
I would be so excited to see a young team like Cincinnati win. I want to see the Rams win. There's a lot of veterans there that I've been waiting to see win for a long time. I mean, guys like Andrew Whitworth tore his ACL last year, 39 years old, comes back to play, high-level left tackle.
I thought he was done.
I thought he was done a few years ago. How is he still on the field? And he's playing at a really high level. So that's a guy I want to see win. Eric Weddle comes back out of 2 years of retirement, and he's the second best player on their defense through the first.
Yeah, he's wearing the green dot Sunday. He's calling the plays.
I mean, he has been excellent for them. You got Ramsey, who I could care less if Ramsey won a Super Bowl or not. Aaron Donald, I'd love to see it. But I think that this is going to come down to, everyone talks about the D-line and everything, and it's totally a proper thing to talk about. That defensive line's going to absolutely dominate the Bengals offensive line, which is their only weakness this year. But Zach Taylor is not going to beat Sean McVay this weekend. I don't think he can. Assistant,
No way.
He's going up against the master who came up short against Belichick a couple of years ago, and he has said since that day that he let his guys down by getting outcoached and did not put them in a position to win that game, when really if they had a better quarterback in that game, they probably would have at least lost 13-10. We all know that miss to Brandon Cooks over the middle in that Super Bowl that Goff had.
That Super Bowl was one of the worst in like my
say,
recent memory.
Lowest scoring Super Bowl
too.
ever. I think this game is not going to be a shootout, but JD, I think it's going to come down to the defense. Like I think you said it. If you said it, I don't know. It's going to come down to defense that have made timely plays. Rams might have the best defense in football the whole season. They just have so many studs on it. Bengals, we saw last week, just timely defense. They know how to make plays. They make great adjustments out of the half. So excited for this game. I think the Rams are going to win. I'll give it a 27-24 final for the Rams, and I think that overall it'll be a good game. I can't see this being like last year's Super Bowl where it's just an absolute blowout on one side.
No, this definitely feels like one of those. This is going to be one of those good Super Bowls where everyone's locked in and engaged the whole time. Not like last year where the Chiefs kind of just got ran over right out the gate. I think both these teams want it. I think both will be ready. But like you said, KB, I don't see how Zach Taylor beats Sean McVay.
I'd be shocked.
How does he? Yeah, it's going to take another great game from Burrow and another great game plan from Taylor to beat this guy.
I don't know if I would have trusted any coach aside from Belichick to beat Sean McVay in a Super Bowl again, because I just don't think he is going to come up short. His game plan will be the best he's ever put together. He will not allow for his team to be unprepared and outcoached a second time in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that on top of the way that the D-line for the Rams just overmatches that Bengals offensive line. Even if they play an absolutely incredible game, Donald's going to get there, Von Miller's going to get there, and if you're even able to contain these guys, I think they're going to be a real issue for Burrow on the field.
They have had 2 weeks to prepare for this, so maybe they show us something Sunday that they haven't in the season. But it's just hard.
I don't see it.
It's hard to think that O-line is going to slow down Aaron Donald and Von Miller.
And you saw Aaron
Leonard
Donald
Floyd
in the conference championship against
the
49ers, who have a fantastic offensive line. He is on a mission, man. Yeah. I would go as far as saying I will predict, if I had to pick a Super Bowl MVP that's a non-quarterback in this game, it's Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald could absolutely take this game over like Von Miller took over.
I agree.
Who's also, Von Miller, a guy that probably a top 3 defensive performance ever in the Super Bowl, 1 Super Bowl MVP in 2015, Super Bowl 50. This is going to be a scary, scary game. But Joe Burrow showed that he can handle the pressure. He's so cool. The Chiefs got after him last week. 2 weeks ago, Melvin Ingram and Chris Jones absolutely got after him. And he was just so cool, down 20 points, getting chased, getting harassed in the backfield. And he never wavered, ever. And it was really, he's such a joy to watch, man. Joe Burrow, only in his second year. Just won comeback player of the year last night.
Yeah, and if I'm the Rams, that's one of my main concerns is how calm Joe Burrow is. He's played in all of these big games. He's been in louder stadiums, and this one's even going to come close.
This is not. I don't think
if
that
Burrow plays the way he has been in big games, this is anyone's game.
This does not feel like a home field advantage game to me either, because first of all, the Rams have not had good home field advantage all season long, and the diehard fans that would travel from St. Louis for Super Bowl can't afford the tickets.
And so if there is any
prices are another story.
If there is any real fans, it's going to be a lot of Bengals fans because they are a rowdy bunch. Like they're a passionate bunch.
Bengals fans been waiting for this, man. If either fan base is dropping $6,000 for nosebleeds, it's going to be orange in those nosebleeds.
Yeah, yep, it definitely is.
But it's going to be a big, celebrity outing in LA. Tickets are so expensive, like it is every week in LA. It's ridiculous.
The halftime show,
also, fun fact I read this morning that I don't know if this factors into either of your betting or anything. Warmest Super Bowl in NFL history, 86 degrees on Sunday. Wow. Warmest Super Bowl.
That's what a lot of people are saying. There's a roof, but I don't think it's climate controlled. I think it's
not. The whole side of that building's open, and the whole roof is glass. So you're still gonna have the sun coming through. It'll probably make it a little hotter.
I was just about to say that.
The sun's it's an evening. Oh no, well in California it's like
3:30.
3:30 start.
Oh my god,
it's gonna get steamy.
So the sun's gonna be right over that building.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's just like in the game in Sanford, the last Von Miller game. It was like that. I think it was pretty hot because it was in San Francisco. It was an early start.
Yeah. All right. You guys want to move into? You got any bets, any picks for this week, and we can launch off those as a kind of jump.
Just
in.
to start, I said I like the Rams. I like the Rams -4. I think the Bengals money line is good value. I really think they have a good chance of winning this game. I just think the smart pick is to go with the better defense and lay the points. I know four is a lot for a Super Bowl with two teams that are this close to me. They're both they're both playing their best football they have all season. I think 4 is a lot of points, but I'm going to go with the Rams, and I think I like the under. I think the total is 48.5. I think the Rams defense does play very well. And the Bengals defense is good too. They shut down the Chiefs the whole second half of that game to get them even back within striking distance. The defense, we talk about Burrow and Chase and all that, and they're great. They're electric. They're fun to watch. But the defense is also a huge part of how the Bengals got to this game, because without that second half plan to stop Mahomes, and whether Mahomes just shit his pants or not, I don't know what it was. But the Bengals defense played great, and they sealed the deal. So I like the under. I like the Rams. And I think going back to what you said, KB, it's worth a play to maybe Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
There's good value. Obviously, the quarterbacks are the favorites. If the Bengals win, they're not going to get it. But I do think someone on the defense takes over this game. It's not bad value. Von Miller, Aaron Donald, MVP. I think one of them is going to happen. But if the Bengals win, it's probably Joe Burrow. Its odds probably aren't that great.
Yeah. I will say, too, just to go back, this is not a betting point, but in order for Cincinnati to have a big game, Joe Mixon's going to have to run well. They're going to have to establish a running game because you have Jalen Ramsey back there who's going to be trouble for either Higgins or I don't know if he's going to follow Chase around the field, but if he's lined up on left side of the field for the defense, right side for the offense, he's going to be giving Higgins a tough time all day. It's going to be, they got to run the ball. You have to be able to establish a run game.
Early, but you got to stick with it.
Especially, I know it's tough to get past the first level of the defense with the Rams, with Von Miller and Aaron Donald, of course, and Joseph Day and Leonard Floyd. But once you get to that second level, their linebackers are very weak. That's where Weddle's played a really big role for them. Weddle's played a very big role dropping down into the box and sinking on those runs. But if you get past that first level, it's not the toughest defense to run on. With that being said, very tough to get past that first level. But keep going.
I mean, we'll just touch on, because you just mentioned it, KB. The Eric Weddle story is one of the most fascinating things.
He comes back, and the Eagles game, like he's on and off the field, probably played 45-50% of the snaps. In the Bucs game, he's on the field for like 95% of the snaps.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
In the championship game, he had the most tackles. He played almost all the snaps. That was phenomenal. And 4 weeks ago, he wasn't even playing. He was like, I'm done.
4 weeks ago, he was at the end of his second year of retirement. And he's been the best player on the field for them.
It's insane.
But
absurd.
Yeah.
Really, I'd love to see Weddle win one, because I wanted to see him win one when he was playing. Weddle's a guy in this game that if I want to see, and you saw how happy he was.
Good for him.
The genuine reaction
good for him, seriously.
After that NFC Championship game. He had that genuine reaction. So I really, that's a guy that, not that everyone wasn't just as happy, but that's a guy that I'd really like to see win. Comes back. What a story. I mean, comes back for 4 weeks. Literally for a month. The guy comes back and he gets a ring and then just sails into the sunset again.
I mean, there's really no I don't hate anybody really. I mean, I don't like Jalen Ramsey. I think he's kind of a
There's
Ramsey, a few guys. Eli
maybe you
Apple,
want to say like Ramsey, Eli Apple.
But other than that,
I don't want to
some
see
people,
Eli Apple win.
Even though Odell really has been a nice story in my opinion this season, because
I agree.
He got the worst DBT records. What's going on? He got the worst rap in Cleveland, and Odell comes back and he kind of proves himself as a great player again, the best number 2 in football for sure.
All right, we're going. JD, you got any other bets?
I might have a few same game parlays or props that I'll throw up on the story, or we'll post even some more picks. But right now, I this game's just it's so odd. I don't have a feel for it.
It's a really tough game to pick, but I've been trying to feel my way. I like the Rams to win this one, so I got the Rams in the points. The first half under is 24 and a half, I believe. So I'm gonna take the first half under. And then one of my favorite parts about the Super Bowl is the exotic, like wild sort of bets. So
yeah, the Gatorade.
I'm calling it right now. I think it's going to be orange Gatorade.
Wow, orange,
it's
an unpopular flavor.
It's actually got the
orange
best odds.
Orange is plus like 250, right? So orange, they think orange is. I think they think orange is the favorite.
Yeah, I think so.
What
orange is the favorite?
So what I would try to look at
the most wild one's purple.
Is
it's like
what color did they have on the sideline
of the last
when the Rams lost?
Yeah. So
and then which one did they have last time? Because you could eliminate.
I know the Bengals always drink orange. So if the Bengals win, it's a lock.
I think I saw.
But so is Gatorade supplied by the
It's-
team, or
it's
is it
the
supplied
team.
by
It's
SoFi?
it's the team like water people, I think. So I don't know if it's luck of the draw or one of the teams chooses.
D-Sabs thinks yellow.
D-Sabs is going
Where
yellow.
was
Yellow's,
Gatorade. Just drop that.
Oh,
Hey.
Yellow Gatorade for
Look at
D-Sab.
this. Yellow Gatorade.
I'm gonna take.
I saw a video. Someone
I would
said
never.
it-
I would never. Bet on Gatorade.
I want to.
Which is a fun. It's a fun thing for you if they like tell. Yeah, wow, it's orange. That's awesome. Like that would be sick. But
I think I saw a video and I don't even know if it's true, but this guy did some like digging on what Gatorade the Rams were gonna take. I think white was what he said. I don't know though, but that might have been based off past games. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I was also trying to do a correct score for the game, but for some reason FanDuel took it down. I was going 31-17 Rams, and I had 27-24. I had both of those locked in and ready to go.
27-24. We got a 27-20
20.
prediction here.
Yeah.
JD
I didn't see that.
predicting
27-20.
27-20.
I like that.
Yeah,
but to move on from the Gatorade colors, what else do we got?
coin toss.
Coin toss? I mean, tails never fails.
Nah.
Well, coin toss,
No,
they
I'm not
can't
betting
even
on
do
the
the.
coin toss.
Usually there's like a winner will defer, but they can't do that because neither of these coaches have ever elected to receive.
Remember last year when someone was outside Raymond James recording the national anthem and everyone started hammering the over?
Yeah.
I did.
And it went over by 1 second.
It was over, but it was close, and it was a thrill. That whatever
that,
2 minutes and something, it was a thrill. I will say
there's
that.
some wild ones. Any scoring drive to be shorter than the length of the national anthem.
Big T
orange
likes orange.
Orange Gatorade?
Yeah, me and D-Sabs were looking at some props, and it said Snoop to smoke on stage during halftime show plus 190.
That's a lock.
I don't know.
Legal in California?
I think NBC banned.
It is.
They banned cannabis commercials, so I doubt they're gonna let Snoop.
Oh yeah, rat that.
Snoop smoke. So you want to take the other side of that? It might be free money.
Dude, the Super Bowl. I mean, the Super Bowl betting is just. There's
so
about
funny,
5%
It's
of
so
possible
funny.
bets are on the game, and then 95% is on anything else that could happen within 30 miles of the stadium.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
It really is.
I don't even know how they come up with the lines.
Some of it's just so crazy. Some of the prop bets you see out there.
There's people putting a good amount of, not generally there's not people doing it, but there's people putting a significant amount of money on the fact that blue Gatorade will be coming out of a bucket at the end of the
Yeah.
night.
Remember last year another crazy one. Remember when the guy bet on will there be a streaker and then
He bet on himself.
He went and did it. He went and did it himself, but he fucked himself because he told somebody and then he got exposed, so he didn't get the money. Like what was that? Was genius. It really was. It was genius. But
until he ratted himself out.
All right, let me check some of the. I'm trying to look at some of the player stuff in this game. I'm not putting anything on this.
Yeah, I think Odell.
Odell anytime
bet
touchdown.
on Odell to
I think it's
score
a good one.
touchdown. I did.
And Odell
I did have a bet
anytime
on
touchdown's a good one.
Chase, I don't know. Well, I think Chase is always going to get a chance or two. He's going to hit. They're going to hit him with a fade at some point. They do it every game.
Interesting
it's just
one.
whether he hauls it in.
Interesting one that I saw a lot of people betting on. That's just, it doesn't have good odds because I think it's minus 115 or minus 110 for both. Is the kickers both their over under 7.5? Kickers might play a big role in this game. We got two of the top three kickers in the NFL in this game.
If you really want to get crazy with the field goals, I saw McPherson needs 3 to beat Vinatieri's postseason record. So that could happen. Obviously, the Bengals are not trying to kick
if
field
the
goals.
Bengals win this game, it's on a McPherson game winner. There's no other reality that I see them winning.
Be. That's how this
not because they can't they can beat the Rams by 2 touchdowns. They're easily talented enough. Either of these teams can beat each other by a couple touchdowns. I think the Rams are a little better though, but
I think the
way that this has gone, it's just McPherson's going to win it if they win.
Yeah, if the Bengals win, McPherson's going to win it. Yeah. I think I saw there was something like on FanDuel's a boost. It was like both teams to have a touchdown and a field goal in each half, and I think that one's. It was like plus 400 boosted from like plus 3 some. That's just off the top of my head. I saw it before. I think I like that.
This is interesting. Longest score of the game, will it be a touchdown or a field goal? That's an interesting. I feel like field goal.
Have to go to be safe. You'd have to go field goal because at some point someone's kicking one beyond 45.
Yeah, it would have to
sorry.
be a long. It would have to be a long chase touchdown or a long. I don't know.
Cup
Touchdown.
Odell, anyone on the Rams, really.
You can go
Anchored
cups overs
screen.
too. Every cup over is
Yeah,
probably
I
going to
think-
hit.
Is that? It's
Touchdown
got to
to
be my. It's
Chase?
got to be
I
my
love that.
dad. It's got to be my dad.
It's all right. I think Chase touchdown's a lock.
Yeah,
Chase touchdown's a good one.
I like the Chase
Chase,
touchdown.
the second Chase leaves Jalen Ramsey in the red zone in this game, he's scoring.
Yeah, they're going to just toss one up. to him.
Yeah,
It's all about
exactly.
But
whether
with,
they connect.
granted,
I
I don't think anywhere within the Rams 50 will Ramsey not be on Chase.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're going to. I mean,
agreed.
I don't know. Sometimes Ramsey doesn't follow, but I think.
Oh, he thinks the longest score is going to be a Chase.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's another
If there's
fair
any
point.
player, in
He's
this
quick.
game that's going to bang a 50
Yeah,
plus,
He's
it's
quick.
Chase.
He can catch a screen and take that 150
For-
yards.
For some reason, first touchdown, I didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna. I already put like $10 on it. I like T Higgins, plus 1100.
Yeah.
That's-
I
There's
have a
always
good
the
feeling.
good.
I have a good feeling about him.
We're
I don't
missing
know
out
why.
on the good. We're missing out on the good value because usually, you always like to. You get sneak in a tight end there like Higbee
Exactly.
or Uzoma, but we don't know if Uzoma's playing. And
Uzoma's
Higbee
hurt.
Drew
is pulled out.
Sample?
Drew Sample.
Oh
Who's
God,
the
what are the
backup?
odds on that?
Oh, there was. Didn't the Rams have they have an undrafted tight end who played very well against the 49ers. I just don't remember his name. Could be good value there.
Yeah.
Big T likes 21-17 Rams. I like that. I
That's
think
actually
Yeah.
That's a good prediction. So Big T right
Attaboy,
now, we
Keto.
have 2 OBJ touchdowns and 21-17 Rams.
So who scores the third touchdown? We got to
Big T,
figure
who
it
scores
out.
that third touchdown, or are we getting, a 2-point conversion and double field goal?
I think 21-17 Rams. I don't know if it's going to be
I
that
kinda-
low.
I kind of
but
like it.
I do like it to be in that range, like 24-21, 23-21 if you want to spice it up a little bit. But
Yeah.
I think McPherson, though, I like McPherson to kick a few in. So I think a score with the Bengals with like 3 field goals would be a good one.
I just want a good game. I
I
can't do
hope so.
another like Rams Pats or Chiefs.
No.
Chiefs
This-
But I
Niners
could even do a
Bucks.
Rams Pats just
Or Chiefs
because
Bucks,
by the
Chiefs Bucks.
time it's the fourth quarter, it's still a close game, so I can tolerate it. But I cannot do last year's game
No.
or the Denver Seattle game.
Yeah, no.
I can't do those.
Denver Seattle was over from the
Give me
snap.
give me a Philly New England. That's the greatest Super Bowl ever.
That's one of the best. That is
That
one of
was
the
a
best.
great
such a
game.
good game. Just back and forth all day, clean football, 2 good quarterbacks. I want to see both quarterbacks play good. I can't watch these 2 guys in their first time in the big game just totally crap it and fold.
I really
can't see
feel like
that.
in the first quarter they're going to.
Is there a chance Stafford does that? Is there a chance?
Yes, there definitely is.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing: the Rams
Absolutely.
are better equipped to play with bad quarterback play than the Bengals are.
In the Bengals,
The Rams could get away with average Stafford.
You've seen
No one in the
Stafford
Super Bowl
throw.
can get-
You've seen
Stafford
Stafford
didn't
throw
even
many
play
picks.
a great game last week. He got away with one with the Jaquiski Tart
Yeah. He got
at
bailed.
safety. He got away with. I think it was. I don't know.
It
whoever
was
or it was
Blanton. Thank you,
Blanton.
D-Sabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the guy.
Yes, D-Sab.
That was. Hey, if he
Like
scores
that
the
one.
first
Blanton.
touchdown, this will be a clip.
Yeah,
right
that'll
here.
be a
This
good
Yeah.
one.
If he doesn't, we'll still.
Yeah.
Hey, if T
Blanton.
Higgins scores, I'm clipping
Um,
him too.
No one knows who Blanton is except for us. I didn't know
No.
who he was until. But now that
No,
he says
no,
his
I
name,
had
no
now that he says his
idea.
name, I've seen him before.
Yeah, and in the champ game, he took over for Higbee when he went down.
Yeah. All right. So you guys got anything else in the Super Bowl? Or do we want to move on to a little New York oriented?
Super Bowl. I mean,
I'm cool to talk Super Bowl for the whole night if you want to.
I just hope it's a good game. I really do. Not like
Yeah, I
last
don't-
year. I was
I
so
don't have too much to
miserable.
say for that.
I still don't like. I still don't. I still am not happy with how the Packers season ended. But
I do like this actually.
Oh, I
This-
do like that.
I don't know who
yeah.
this is. I forgot to mention this. This is my favorite bet that I've heard of the whole weekend is Burrow over 12.5 because Burrow's going to run. We saw it in the end of the Kansas City game. He's going to run for 1 first down rush. in
yeah,
this
we
game.
saw him running for his life. He probably will be running for his life.
It's just a
lot of
matter
this
of
game.
12
does
and
he
a half
run?
yards is a given. I feel
Does
like
he
I'd
run
like
for
that a lot?
The only issue is if they're playing a pretty solid contain because they have Floyd and Von Miller, so they could, if they're setting 4-man rush, they could send Donald Miller and Joseph Day and keep Floyd around just to spy for Burrow. But I still think 12.5 rushing yards. Burrow is good at when
It
the
takes
pocket's
one rush
collapsing.
for that.
He's good at getting out. He runs three to 5 times a game.
And he takes hits
does.
too. He doesn't slide
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah, I like that.
50
I like
plus.
that over
50
12
plus
and a half.
is maybe a nice
That's-
alternate. If he breaks one off, 50 plus is not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kneeling
Yeah,
at the end.
so if he has like 15, 14 yards, then it's gonna end up at 12.
The kneeling at the end, though, you could also do like you
You
could
spread
do
it down
prop
to
ups.
10.
Rushes, kneels
you're
also
worried about
count
that.
as rushes. So if you want to do over a certain amount of
Yes.
rushes too, you could do that.
But then the tough thing is, who's kneeling?
Who's kneeling? Yeah.
Is
You don't
anyone
know.
kneeling? Or is McPherson having the greatest postseason
yeah.
by a single player ever?
He'll end it if it's the Bengals. I think you got to think that.
Yeah, if it's the Bengals, he's ending it. But you always can get a Burrow knee for the field goal. Whatever.
Yeah, you could.
What's
We're getting
Aaron
too
Donald's
engaged into
odds
the
to
potential
win
kneels.
MVP?
To win MVP?
I feel like it's very good value.
Is it even
I feel like
up
it's almost
there?
like- I'm gonna check FanDuel.
I think
it
a lot
definitely
of the
is. I was
stuff
looking
was
at it
missing.
before. Yeah, no, the correct score was missing. I wish I was able to actually do it. Aaron Donald plus 1,400 MVP. So,
Yeah, that's great value.
yeah,
for a guy
over
that
2.5
for the
rushes.
best player in football to win Super Bowl MVP. That's great value.
And the Stafford over 2.5 rushes seems like if the Rams are
It's a
winning, he's
given.
going to knee it. He's going to take off and run at least once or twice. And if they're winning, he's going to knee it. That's going to happen. That's how the game's going to end.
This is a good one. Stafford 2.5 rushes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might actually sprinkle that one.
All right. So any more?
Last one, Big T, Jamar touchdown, Mixon
And
touchdown,
Mixon
and a field goal.
So this is Big T's 21-17. Has a Jamar touchdown, Mixon touchdown, and then a McPherson drops it in. So are we thinking, Big T, are we thinking 17-14 with 2 minutes left? Stafford's got to take him down for the 21? Sign me up.
Big T, there's also, obviously.
Big T
T's
runs
not
our
doing
merch
this,
store, by the way.
But there is Odell on FanDuel to score 1 touchdown boosted from plus 140.
That's Odell anytime. Odell
Plus
anytime.
200 is
my
beautiful.
Favorite.
Beautiful.
I like that Stafford. The QB rushes are good ones.
I also like Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon under 89.5. I feel like 89 is 89.5.
I know we said they have to run the ball.
They have to, but I don't think
they do have to stick to the run. But I don't think he gets 90 yards.
89. Yeah, 89.5 is a lot, especially against.
I feel like 89.5. I feel like that's pretty high, actually.
That is high against the best defense in the league.
Oh yeah, true. The Drake curse, dude. He bet like Jimmy said he didn't say.
Yeah, but then
I'm pretty sure he bet like 600 grand.
But Mattress Mac has lost every bet he's had the last few times, and he's got like 9 million or 16.
9
he's
mil
9 to win 16
on the
Bengals.
Why
does this
even
guy's
do
money
that,
come
dude?
from?
Yeah,
I know.
what?
You started a mattress firm. Which, all right, like you're betting $5 to $15 million a week.
$10 million on
and he doesn't win anything.
Yeah, he's trying to make it all back. He's trying to make it all back.
Longest
TD under 42.5 yards.
Yeah, I don't mind that because
that's a safe one. What are the odds on that? That's very safe.
It's probably minus 120, but
it's got to be.
But I don't know because anyone on that Rams offense can break one off.
I was just looking at some.
But if it's a touchdown too, yeah. If it's a 50-yard catch, it might not even be a touchdown. So that's not a bad bet at all.
There's no like sack props on here. It's just tackles and all that. I was trying to see. I think Von Miller, because Von Miller has played good all postseason. We weren't sure if he was going to show up because he wasn't playing good at the end of the regular season. But Von Miller, I really like Von Miller to have a big day.
There's odds for how many times Chris Collinsworth says now here's a guy. Over unders 5.5.
Yeah. This is it for Al Michaels and Collinsworth
together. Yeah. Both will likely be moving on to different
Collinsworth's going to go, or no, not Collinsworth.
Michael's
going to go to Amazon.
He'll be doing Thursday Night Football, probably with Aikman.
You think they're going to split him up on Fox?
I think that Aikman's about to get a nice chunk of cash.
I think there's going to be a lot of change.
They're not going to either him or Breeze.
Are they going to bring Breeze up to Sunday Night Football?
Because Romo's staying at CBS. He's making almost $20 million a year.
Which is absurd.
I don't know.
Romo and Nance are staying put.
I think Breeze is okay. I think he should stick to the Notre Dame.
Tarico is going to get a slot, probably with NBC.
Tarico's going to get the Sunday night. Tarico's going to get the Sunday night game.
Sunday night
games next
Sunday
year.
Night NBC?
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Manning cast is
ESPN
back for the next 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Also.
ESPN, they're just a shit show. They don't have.
ESPN's a disaster.
They're gonna.
Steve Levy's good at his job, but it's not working.
They're gonna try to pay up for Sean Payton to get him in there as.
Sean Payton was the other guy that Amazon is. No, so Sean Payton. What I read about Sean Payton is, if Collinsworth gets pulled to, no. If Aikman gets pulled to Amazon, Fox wants Payton with Buck.
Okay.
Will that happen? I don't know. If ESPN pays him $12 million, won't happen.
Hey, Ian Eagle's the voice of the Jets. That Ian Eagle. That's how you know. You hear that at CBS countdown. You hear that
great,
kickoff song.
But the last year or two, the Jets have found themselves with Spiro Ditas and Greg Gumbel gets a couple.
I mean, we just don't deserve anything.
And then every once in a while, they just throw Kevin Harlan in like absolutely randomly.
They
And then we get Kevin Harlan, and it's the Mike White game for Kevin Harlan.
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football.
Remember?
Thursday Night Football
we beat the Bengals, dude, and we beat the Rams.
We beat the Bengals with a backup quarterback, and he threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Mike White magic.
Our first show, we all came on here and
that was it. Yeah,
we picked. We all thought the Jets had a nice shot against the Colts, and that
got shut
and
down.
they did.
They did if Mike White didn't get hurt.
Mike White threw that touchdown to Elijah Moore, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was. We got robbed of a good one. I feel like that game.
We did. But White, then, time ran out the following week against Buffalo through 4 picks.
I feel like this is a good segue into the New York.
Yeah, let's get into New York here.
Yeah,
if you want us to go back to any more Super Bowl, if you got any more picks, just comment them down. We'll bounce back.
Yeah.
It is Super Bowl weekend, so that's the main focus. But
New York sports,
there's a little bit to chat about.
We've got the Jets, we have the Giants going into very important off seasons. We have the Yankees and Mets going into. Yankees and Mets are the 2 teams in New York right now, and I guess the Rangers too, who are competing for a championship over the next 365 days. Do we want to talk? I know we just posted the Yankees free agent targets after the lockout. We think of the Mets sign anyone else, or do we want to stick with football for a couple more minutes?
I love the Yankees. I love that post, KB, for the Yankees. I thought it was great. I think Freddie Freeman, we'll touch on that while we're at it. I think Freddie Freeman is a great fit there. He'll hit 40 home runs at that stadium.
Freeman,
I want him out.
If you have a chance to get Freeman,
it's a win for Mets fans. I know that
I want him out.
Mets and Yankees fans, especially Mets fans and Yankees fans, it's very like, I hope that they don't get the good players. And, like Yankees fans were pained. Personally, not me. I care less about the Mets, as you guys know. But Yankees fans were pained when Scherzer and Marte and everyone went to the Mets. But if Freddie Freeman went to the Yankees, it would be such a service for everyone in New York.
Yeah,
get him out.
I would love him out of Atlanta. But, obviously there's always like that little, like, you don't always want the crosstown rivals to get the big guy.
Yeah,
I would love Freddie Freeman, but to have him out of our division would be a win. It'd be a win. I don't care because
he's such a great player, man.
The biggest games we'll play against the Yankees would come in the World Series, which would be a win to even be there.
Exactly.
So he can't haunt us.
It would be a win to be there because it wouldn't be a win at the end of the week. But
NY is more fun when both teams are good. It's been a while because the one year the Mets were really good. The Yankees, I don't know if they didn't make it or they lost in the wild card round in 2015. I think it was one of those two.
Yeah,
but it's been a while since both are good, and I would love a season where we're just happy.
We could have 2 90-game winners this year.
Yeah,
we have to.
Both teams are question marks too for 90-game winners, I think, because the Yankees were definitely at their worst with this core last year.
The Mets, question mark.
I mean, the Mets
are a question mark because they won 77 games.
Yeah, they got to stay
healthy though. You have to win 90 games. I mean, that DeGrom and Scherzer are a free win almost every time they get on the fucking mound.
Yeah, you hope that the bats come alive this year.
You don't even need the bats to come alive for those. You need to put up 3
I'll tell you this though. I said it the other day in one of our group chats. The DH is going to change the way that your guys' pitcher looks, and I think DeGrom and Scherzer are the 2 best pitchers in the league, regardless of designated hitter or not. If they finished with 2 6s next year, they're the 2 best pitchers in the league still. But the DH changes so much for the National League pitching.
Our offense too,
because it changes everyone's offenses too. But how many times do you have that second and third, 1 out, you get the 8 hitter out, and then you're like, oh, beautiful. Or you could walk the 8 hitter to blow the bases and try to get that force. I mean, it's just such a
it changes the strategies different.
It changes everything. And for the Mets, it's almost kind of a gift, I think, with the DH overall and with every NL team because you don't have to hit with the pitcher. But guys like Dom Smith and Nimmo and guys that have struggled in the field. Nimmo's an outfielder. I'm not saying he's going to be a DH for the whole year, but guys that have struggled in the field for the Mets. How long have we talked for the last 3 or 4 years? We've harped on it every day of the season. Man, I wish this guy could play the DH.
Yeah, Pete
because I'm watching
Alonso.
Stanton who can't catch a pop up. Stanton who can't catch a pop ups out there. Voit who can't catch a pop up out there. Pete Alonso take a day off in the field.
Yeah, he's not going to be a DH full time.
No, not a permanent, but I think Dom Smith will have that role. He took that role as the main DH, I think.
And Pete took a step up last year. He really did, fielding wise. But he's still susceptible to those 1 or 2 games where he just cannot scoop or pick a ball at first base, and then that's where you just shuffle him out more and DH him, and he can still play without having to play first base. Dom Smith's a great first baseman.
Who knows? We need to see a good year from Lindor too.
Also, with Lindor though. If Lindor, where's Lindor going to hit in the lineup this year? We think
2.
I don't know.
2, 3, maybe 1, maybe 1 if that's the way they go.
Probably not 1.
Probably not 1.
I think Nimmo 1.
He's going to hit in those top 3 spots. So
I think 3 because you can go Nimmo 1, Marte 2, Lindor 3 if you want to do
that.
So
you get to the 3rd inning of a baseball game, and you're 6 up, 6 down, 7-hitter leads off, getting on. Next 3 guys get out because you have the pitcher in there. You have Nimmo and say who would be hitting 8th for the Mets?
McCann.
Yeah, McCann. So McCann goes down. DeGrom goes down, even though DeGrom hit 475 last year.
Yeah.
McCann goes down. Scherzer goes down. Nimmo goes down. Lindor's not going to be with the DH now. Lindor will be leading off a lot less. So it will help his numbers a lot more because he'll be the guy getting up with 2 outs now and a man on second. Leading off the inning so much tougher than hitting 4th with a man in scoring position because of the pressure that the pitcher's facing. But I think Lindor will have a much better year. I think he has to.
I think he has to. If he doesn't, it's unacceptable.
The BS with him and McNeil and the raccoon thing or the rat that was
just a lost year.
Javi's putting thumbs down. There was a lot of talent and no one managing it. Yeah. And Rojas to Buck Showalter is
it's a big culture change.
It's the biggest upgrade and change that you could have possibly made. It's a fantastic move. Great change. We've talked about it so much. That's why this team, I think, is different for the Mets.
It feels different.
I got to see it. I got to see it first. I really do. I got to see it before I'm starting to.
Yeah.
Last year, I felt really good going in. And the fact that they were so bad just defeated me all summer. It was bad. I got to see it, but it's been such a culture change with Showalter and Scherzer. We don't get a guy like Max Scherzer. That doesn't happen.
No.
And him and DeGrom back to back.
He kept his word, man. He really
did. As long as those 2 guys are healthy, the Mets are going to be in 2 of every 5. You're supposed to win 2 of every 5 games.
Yeah, and we talked about this before.
We know that's not going to happen because they will go cold.
Yeah, and we talked about this all the time. If the Mets get in as a wild card and that one seed gets to pick who they're playing, the Mets are going to be the most feared team in a 3-game series. Absolutely.
That's what I wanted. I want to ask KB. I want to ask you what you think about the playoff format where it's 7 teams, but everyone gets to pick who they want to play. I don't like that. I think you can expand the playoffs, but I don't
like to pick who you play. And I think the pick who you play thing is better for the teams at the bottom.
Because it's
now you're going into all right, the Yankees are the 1 seed and they just picked the playoffs. So let's go kick the shit out of them in their little 300-foot ballpark because they just picked us. I don't think that teams would want to pick the team they play.
I don't think so. And I don't know why that.
If you're a GM manager, I don't think you want to pick who you play.
How do you go about even that scenario? What is the conversation do you even have as a GM?
Because I'm gonna say I don't think they will, but the Yankees end up with the 1 seed. The Red Sox are the 7 seed, but they were the worst team in the playoffs. Do I want to pick Boston to play?
No.
And then I'm going to look at am I going to pick the 6 seed?
Am
I going to pick the 6 seed who ended up being Houston? And they led the league in runs they were top 5 in the league in runs this year, but they ended up the 6th seed because they're not pitching. I want them
not
coming?
Smart. I feel you said it. It puts the 1 seed at a disadvantage, even if they're at home. It doesn't matter.
Terrible disadvantage. I do also think they have to cut down to 154 games with the expanded playoff because I don't want to see the pitchers going an extra week.
No.
Yeah,
the pitchers' arms are already too fragile.
The pitchers' arms they have to be fresh in the playoffs this year because last year it was really worse than I've ever remembered between the Braves and the Dodgers series. They were throwing guys out there I've heard of, but should not be starting big games like that because they just did not have the arms.
Yeah,
so pitchers got to be healthier.
We got to have a bit of a 154 games. Give it 3 or 4 days before the first games of the playoffs, and then I do like the wild card round is gone now, right?
Well, is it going to get changed? I mean, I haven't heard anything.
I think they're trying to move it to like an NFL format
where
there's wild card round, but it's not. It's maybe 2 out of 3, or so if they do one game though for the extra round, that's a shit show.
I think the format's definitely getting changed in some way.
Because now to use the Yankees in an opposite way, if they were to do a wild card round with one game played, say 4 games or 1 game series, Cole. With so the Yankees would go Cole, Nestor Cortez, and then Severino. That puts them at a great advantage in 1 game series because Cole is just going to pitch against, if it's Chicago White Sox, they have a good top 3, but they don't have with Lance Lynn, Rodon if they re-sign him, but they're not going to. But so it puts a team with 1 good pitcher at a great advantage the wild card games, which is why I think it has to be. They got to get rid of it.
Yeah, I know. I don't
because even the Mets last year, if you look at the Mets last year, I mean, now they have Scherzer, but if you look at the Mets last year, they were not built for a 3-game series if DeGrom was healthy because they'd win the one in the wild card game because DeGrom's going to give up nothing. But then who comes to pitch the next day? Carrasco? With the state of their team last year because Syndergaard wasn't healthy. So they got to get rid of that 1 game.
In the past, they wanted to do the 3 games for the wild card all at the Better Team Stadium for all 3.
That's not a bad idea.
I think that's better. I think that's
like
better.
3-game series, and I don't mind it being all at the Better Team Stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems so.
I feel like giving them the first 2 would be fair.
So the tough part is though you'd have to travel
to win at home.
If you go. So you can't go back and forth for baseball. I don't think you can go 1-1-1 like hockey does for 5, 6, 7.
This is the proposal. 7 teams from each league make the postseason, which we know. Mm-hmm. Teams with the best record in each league will get wild card round buys. Okay. So 6 teams will play in the wild card round?
So the wild card round is going to turn into a best of 3 or a best of 5. Probably best of 3.
Because I don't think they're going to give a team a week and a half.
You'll go 3, 5, 7. You'll work your way up.
2 other division winners and top wild card team host all games of 3-game series in wild card rounds. So that's what you just said, JD. The better team hosts all 3.
Nielsen said it in chat. That's what
Nielsen said it?
Yeah.
Apologies, Nielsen.
No, that was good. Yeah. And
Nielsen, good job. I didn't see that. My bad.
And I like that. I like 7 teams for the Mets. I don't know how a lot of other people are going to like it because it is a lot. I mean, 14 teams, it's not that much because that's how much getting in football.
Yeah. What I was saying was wrong. The 1 seed does not pick who they play.
No, the 1 seed gets a bye.
So they get to bye, and they're just going to play the lowest seed that comes out of the wild card round, which is nice. So that makes the 1 seed very valuable.
This is the football format, except it's baseball best of 3.
It's the football format, but the
wild card is best of 3. That's all it is.
Okay, so there's 4. There's 6 series in the wild card round. There's a 1 seed in each conference or league with a bye. And then we have 4 teams left by the divisional round in football terms.
See, and in baseball, you just have to get in because the Braves last year are proof.
And you guys know firsthand. You guys know firsthand with Daniel Murphy just walked you guys to a World Series with the most unexpected run. But that's what happens. That's what Jeter always said. You got to get to the playoffs. Everything else is just a crapshoot. Because you have no idea what's going to happen. The Seattle Mariners and the greatest team of all time, most wins ever. The Yankees fucking killed them in the first round.
I'm worried about the Mets not making the playoffs.
That would be a nightmare. That would be an absolute nightmare.
That's definitely a possible nightmare. But 7 teams, I think they get in the NL with 7 teams, and I think once they get in, as long as they're healthy, they have a chance. So that's really the big hurt. They got to get over the hump at some point. I feel good every year going in. Some more than others. Last year, the most probably in a long time since probably they went to the World Series, not win. Wish they won, but I feel good. I really feel good about this team, and I think
it feels different. It really has never felt like.
But it felt different last year.
It
felt different last year. I feel
it did. Yeah, you're right. But something once we started watching that team, we had hope that they would turn it around. But when you watched them, you knew they weren't going to.
So
It
can I
just-
just,
it was
can I just
swinging-
jump into
it
this
was
Mets
swinging.
combo
Yeah,
quick?
yeah.
With
Go
so
for it.
I don't know. Scherzer's exciting, and it's a great signing. I'm not saying the top 2 guys are the best in the league. This 3-4-5 is awful.
Yeah,
Taijuan
it's
Walker,
not-
Carlos
it's-
Carrasco,
it's
Jose
not
Suarez
good.
/ McGill. This is the pitching
It's
depth for
not
the
good.
Mets is incredibly concerning in my eyes.
You have a bunch of guys who could be something but are not
Yes.
guarantees. You have 2
Not yet,
guarantees to be great,
So-
good pitchers, but after that, it's question marks.
I think McGill will have a solid.
I think
year.
McGill will be good, but Carrasco you
so.
can't count on.
Carrasco and Walker are both.
Walker
so
you can't
streaky.
count on. Walker was terrible
Walker
in the
was
second half.
horrible after the
He's
All-Star
great in the
game.
first half too.
Yeah, it was
which is-
incredible. He's an All-Star.
They're gonna
So
sign-
when we're looking, no, keep going, JD, sorry.
They're gonna sign or trade for a pitcher. It's gonna
They have
happen.
to.
At
They
some
have
point.
to. I think Castillo is actually a more realistic option than people think.
I
with the
do
way
think.
that
I do
Steve
think
Cohen
so
operates.
too.
But so at this point, without speculating that they add Castillo or anyone else, the 2 guys that you're relying on is a 37-year-old in Max Scherzer, who you just
Yep.
made the highest paid player annually,
Which is
ever,
worrisome. It is.
which is definitely concerning. He has good health, as far as his career goes, he's been pretty healthy. And a guy in DeGrom who I absolutely love, but he pitched 15 games last year,
Mhm.
92 innings.
Yeah.
So
No, KB, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. I don't care about the Scherzer contract because in baseball,
exactly, I wouldn't
it doesn't
either.
mean shit. It's
You
not
could have
my
given
money.
him 10 million more a year, and that's
But it
It's
does
fine.
like the dead arm. You could say what you want about the dead arm in the playoffs. He got worked last
Yeah,
year,
yeah, that was
they put him
and
through
he pitched with his heart on his sleeve.
and
last year, too,
I
trying
think
to
he'll
get
be
the Dodgers World
fine this
Series.
year, even if he's not as dominant because he really was a legitimate Cy Young candidate. He was probably the favorite at some point because DeGrom went down and then it kind of opened up a bit. It was Scherzer, Bueller, Burns for a while. I think we see that version of him, maybe a little worse, maybe with, I don't know, a 3 ERA, a little lower than that. We're paying him a lot of money. We need him to show up.
Yeah,
DeGrom worries me. He needs to be healthy for this
but now
team
that
to
he's
be
not
good.
hitting too, that's a big help because
Yeah,
that's where
that's
his injuries
huge.
seem to have come last year.
So I'm gonna miss I am gonna miss the strategy of having a pitcher in the 9-hole because there's a lot that happens in the
Yeah.
NL games that's like it's just all about, do you want to hit for the pitcher here? Or do you is it too early? Is it too late? Pinch hitters, blah blah blah. The strategy, the bunting. I'm gonna miss that part, but I'm not gonna miss fearing for my life every time DeGrom is at the dish because I knew he could hit.
or you have DeGrom pitching in a game in the bottom of the second, 2 outs with the bases juiced, and you're down 2-zip. And
And
now
I
you
mean-
have DeGrom. You have to put him out there, and it's the bases loaded. You get nothing out of the inning, and that was always a killer for the Mets. We do that all the time.
For
knew
me,
he
it's
could- I knew he
awesome,
could
man,
hit, but-
that I don't have to go to Citi Field anymore and watch Jordan Montgomery hit at the plate, man. I
Uh,
can watch Voit, who probably I don't think is going to be there. But let me ask you guys a question about the Yankees. Pivot to the Yankees for a second.
mhm.
Non-biased lenses like we always use here. But Yankees go into the season with Anthony Rizzo's their free agent signing, and they add a pitcher or whatever. They Yankees go into the season with the same team they ended the season with last year. Are they a contender?
Yeah, I don't know
Because we have to realize
they're a
you know,
contender.
the
They're
three
a
teams
contender.
prior,
Yes,
the
they're
three
contenders,
teams
but-
prior with the Yankees every year have entered as the American League favorite, partially because they're the Yankees and it gets the betting gets hyped up and they're always the favorite,
Mhm.
even when they're not the best team. But they're playing in this division, which might be the best in baseball. With the Red Sox, Rays, Blue Jays are just going to hit the crap out of the ball again. And the Orioles. But
No, you're gonna beat the shit out of the Orioles when you go to
Yeah.
Camden Yards because that always happens.
Yep.
You need
But
a good.
that was their
you need a
biggest
good
issue
3
last year
games.
is that it didn't happen. We were
Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I watched a lot of
Like 9 and
Yankees
7.
games last year where you guys had the lead and the pitching just wouldn't hold
The
up. It was
pitching,
the
we had
Yankees-
bad
the
bullpen
managerial
issues last year too.
decisions. Yeah,
The
it was-
Yankees
Boone
were
should
tough
not
to
be
watch.
back.
The
Boone
Yankees
should
were
not be
tough
back.
to
Yeah,
watch
that's
last
another
year.
story. They were.
So
So
it
the
was
Mets.
same team, 3rd or 4th in the East. I agree. I think that
The
same
Blue Jays
team
are
we're
so
worse.
good, man.
I think same team we are worse than Boston and Tampa. Again, I think Toronto lost more than they gained this offseason. Losing Robbie Ray, who just won the Cy
Mhm.
Young.
Yeah.
Losing Marcus Semien, who was their second best player last year, or maybe their best player.
Maybe their best
Ahead
yeah.
of Vlad Guerrero, even though Vlad's much more fun to watch and he gets the highlights. Marcus Semien was awesome last year for them. So that totally helps the Yankees and the rest of the teams in the AL East losing him in the division. But
I think
I feel like Bo Bichette's gonna have a big year.
Second place is very realistic. I don't
second
think
place is definitely realistic. But who comes in first in that division too? Because the Red Sox haven't added anyone yet.
Probably the Rays.
Probably
The Rays are just good.
The
Rays
Rays are
know how to do
the
it.
Rays are good, and
Until the Yankees win this division, I don't see them winning the World Series.
I don't think the Red Sox got better. I think they got hot at the right time last year.
Exactly.
I really
do. I could.
They weren't the best
You
team.
can attest to that. Yeah.
They weren't one of the better teams in the AL throughout most of the year, but they got there and they got hot at the right time. They beat the Yankees. Who did they play in the DS? The Red Sox. Who did they beat? Because they did.
Rays.
Yeah, they beat the Rays, and the Rays had a great year. So you just never know. I think I don't know. The ceiling for the Yankees is always first place.
Exactly.
They can always win the division. So I wouldn't say the ceiling is second place, but
I do also think that with
they did have Cora.
If they add Story, hypothetically, they add Story and bring back Rizzo, I think it's a team that is immediately so much better just because they're adding a guy that can really light a spark in their lineup.
Yeah, Story can hit for some power too.
Rise right too. Yeah. Rise right. Cora really helped that team a lot, man. Cora is an awesome coach.
Yeah, and
trading for Olsen is another great move. He's really good.
And Olsen shortstop is kind of what I think most Yankees fans' dream scenario.
Personally, my dream scenario is Freeman plus shortstop. I'd say Story because you're not giving up the assets to get Olsen. Freeman, you give him, whatever, 5 for 200. Fine by me. 6 for give him whatever he wants. I mean, the guy's a freaking great
Hand him
player,
a blank
man.
check.
He's a great player, and he is built for Yankee Stadium. He's built for New York. He's a pro's pro. He doesn't let too much get, phase him. The guy was, I can't believe Atlanta's letting him
He's
go.
one of the nicest guys.
I mean,
one of the most professional guys.
Atlanta's a disgrace for letting
Atlanta's
him go.
gotten greedy.
They have Ozzie
Atlanta's
and Acuna
gotten greedy.
on like $10 million a year contracts.
They have Acuna on an 8-year, $100 million deal, and they just won the World Series. Go pay the man. He's been
realistically.
If the
Yankees want to get Olsen too, they have to give up Anthony Volpe, who is the best shortstop prospect in the MLB.
I don't think that happens,
and I don't think they're going to. So I wouldn't complain with either of them. I wouldn't even be upset with Rizzo at the end of the day. If you do get Rizzo, you have to add other guys, though. I mean,
you
Rizzo
have to get a shortstop.
But the pitchers that are left really are not great. Do we think the Mets add a Kershaw, or they want to add Rodon?
Nah, I think Rodon.
I don't think they get Kershaw.
I think there's just a Rodon chance because I think Steve Cohen and Boris, which Rodon's a Boris client, are starting to form a nice little bond. I think they're going to have a nice future together with clients, but I don't think they do sign Rodon. I don't know. No. You never know because now
with him, I don't even
now
see
with the Mets.
You think the Mets? You think the Mets are done, and then the next they just keep. Yeah, no Chris Bryant. I don't see it happening. Seattle. I heard.
I really haven't even thought about that. Good thing with the Yanks is that you are most likely ending up. Yeah, no, I mean, your floor should be. It should be Rizzo, in my opinion.
The top article for Carlos Rodon right now is the Mets might not be done spending yet.
Yes.
Boy, so the lockout ending tomorrow or what?
I think it's going to get much closer than we think. It'll be a slight spring training delay.
I think they make a little progress, but I also think Manfred was lying throughout most of his press conference the other day.
Yeah, that was. But I think Manfred also sets it up so that he could be like, we were trying to move in the direction that I said last week, but the players did not cooperate with us.
Yeah, so I think they have a better. I don't know about like good faith proposal. I think they have a better proposal that they think can trigger a deal, but I don't know. I don't see how likely it is.
I feel like if the players association,
I don't see it happening, but it could. I feel better about our chances.
Tomorrow could be a day that they walk out of the doors, though, and we're kind of getting all right. They got to meet one more time. They got to come back with their best, and we're back. So yeah. I hope that's
so.
The case.
Yeah, I think that's best case scenario. I don't think a deal gets done.
I don't think a deal gets done.
If a deal gets done tomorrow, I will.
That's a miracle. Yeah.
If a deal gets done, we'll do another emergency live.
How quickly do we think?
Because then we got to talk about it. Then there's going to be some moves being made.
How quickly do we think free agency just lets right off the rip?
I think
in the first 24 hours, Story, Correa.
I was going to say first 12.
Maybe not Freeman. I
feel like these guys are talking. I feel like what else is there to do in the?
I think first 24 to 48 hours, it's going to be just a total totally just let it fly. And
Yeah,
it's
free
awesome.
agency is
I
going to
mean,
be
Nielsen just
squished
said once this
into
ends,
like
it's
a
going to be
short
awesome.
amount of time.
I think it's great. It's going to be great because by the time free agency's over, it's opening day.
Yeah, it's baseball time.
Yeah, and it's pretty.
So-
we're
beautiful.
pitchers and catchers are
I
reporting.
don't have to
probably.
wait. I mean, you guys, even though we know how exciting it is still, I don't care when we sign players, but I didn't have to wait from November to March to see Scherzer pitch. If we sign Story, I'm going to see Story in 3 weeks in pitch
yeah,
times.
which is sweet. But it is more comforting going into the lockout
it
knowing
is.
you're in a pretty
No,
good
yeah,
spot.
Because now
you
I'm
already
sitting
made-
at this
you already
point
made
where it's
moves
like,
good
all right, the
enough where you
season's
can cut the
yeah, you're right. Because
season
the other
off,
end of it
or
is the season's in a
off.
month. The season's in a month, and who the hell is going to be on our team?
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
we have a
no,
pretty good.
I love the way we're set up
idea.
right now. Besides pitching, I think
I
the
think a lot of-
lineup's fine.
yeah.
KB, you think
Yeah,
Correa
let's
is on the board for the Yanks? KB,
No, I do not. I think Correa probably ends up back in Houston. I think
Houston.
that Cashman, and I'm not saying it's because they don't Correa wouldn't sign here. I think that let me see what's going on with Correa right now. But I think that Cashman definitely wants Anthony Volpe to be the shortstop in 2 years. And Story is not going to break the bank with this contract. But if he has 2 good seasons at Yankee Stadium, he could find himself anywhere with a $280 million contract.
Yeah, Big Rye wants Story too. I think Story's a great.
I mean,
fit,
Story's that's huge.
He
for
does
you
it all
guys
too.
to get Story.
He led the league in stolen bases too. I think at one point.
He's
which
got a
is
good
just-
glove.
He's got a good glove. Yeah, he's got a
Strong
strong
arm. Yeah, he's just a good all-around player. He's 5'2".
He can hit, man. Too. He's his
Yeah.
swing is his swing
Yeah,
is so
he's got
clean.
a beautiful swing.
Yeah, he's great.
That's another guy too. Olsen is just another guy. 5 tools. Just has a great glove in the field. Great power.
Olsen can. Yeah, Olsen will play first base for the Yanks, but he can play the
can
outfield
play
too
right
if you
field.
need him.
So CBS Sports is saying that it's the Yankees, Cubs, or Astros, and obviously they don't actually know much, but they're saying out of the lockout. This was from a couple days ago. Yankees, Cubs, or Astros, but the Yankees and Astros will likely spend rationally and pay him the going price for shortstops and not pay him a Lindor contract.
I did hear Cubs. What are they doing? Like what?
I don't know.
why-
Yeah,
Like,
I
they
would not
sold
go
at the
to
deadline,
Chicago.
and
I
now
would
they're
not go to
immediately
Chicago.
back into buying.
I wouldn't go to Chicago.
I don't
think
like-
that's a-
Now they're
that's a
thinking about.
fire
There's
right
rumors about Bryant and Rizzo not together, but returning possibly individually. Like one of them goes back. They signed Stroman.
Speaking of the Cubs too, I don't like the Baez fit in Detroit either.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know.
No, I
That
just
was
don't know
just a
what
nice
Baez.
money grab.
But yeah, Baez just wanted. the money.
That
He
was just a
he
move
was
to get
done.
the fans excited. It was basically just to make a move, and
And they knew that they
Oh,
really
the Cubs got
couldn't get anyone
Stroman,
else.
dude, too.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Cubs
forgot
got
about that.
Stroman. That's an odd. And
Yeah,
Stroman and Baez.
whatever. I don't care.
Stroman and Baez are
Stroman-
2 guys I don't really want on my team.
Stroman and
Mm.
Baez would be
Stroman's-
Mets if they
Stroman's
wanted
toxic.
him back.
Yeah,
Because Baez probably wanted to stay with the Mets, and then once that didn't happen, it was like, oh shit, what do we do?
I'd
And
rather have Eduardo Escobar.
I think so too.
Yeah,
The Mets just kind of just totally revamped the whole culture and just everything that went wrong last year they tried to fix in the offseason,
Yeah,
which is great.
I feel like
because-
there's a lot less one-dimensional players on the Mets right now. Like most of these guys can move around on the field. They can all play
Yeah,
certain positions.
we're in a good
I
spot.
still think that the best value signing of the offseason is Marte. I absolutely loved him.
I love Marte.
Yeah, he
that
adds,
was a
he
guy
adds such a
that
threat to the bases
Him
that we needed.
and if at the beginning it was like will Freeman become available, so him, Freeman, and Correa were the guys that I thought the Yankees have to get these guys if they can. And obviously, I think Marte was right off the rip to the Mets. I don't think there was much of a discussion as to anywhere else. They paid him good money, a little bit over what his value is, which is what you have to do, what they should have done, and they did it.
Yeah.
I think he's an awesome player. I really do.
We think switching topics, you think Correa gets a shorter deal? It kind of seems like
I think he's
Kinda
looking
seems
for
like
what he
years.
wants, yeah.
it
I
kind
think
of
he was looking for his 10-year deal. I don't think he
It
gets
kind of seems like he wants his Lindor deal, but I think he's kind of overvalued what teams would give him.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll still. I think he's seeing like the 6-year range, maybe. I don't know. You think
Yeah, I
short
give
or
him-
like really long?
I think
is more accurate?
Houston or Chicago would definitely go like 5 to 7.
Mhm.
I don't think he gets a 10.
Does he want
10 to
that though? I
13.
think he
10 is
wants.
just
I don't
I think
know.
he wants. He wants a lot.
I think
which is-
he wants
which-
like 10
Yeah, he
for
wants that.
350.
Yeah,
He's the best shortstop in the
Lindor.
MLB.
Just
Because
seems
when you
not-
get to October, it's just
Yeah,
he
I
just
mean, he just
slugs,
turned-
man.
he's on
But
another
so
level
there's my point with the
in
Yankees.
October.
Story versus Correa. 162 game regular season, they're kind of the same player. They provide the same value over the regular season.
Do we really know what Story becomes?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like in the playoffs? He
Well,
hasn't,
been there but my
a little
logic
bit.
is the Yankees have enough players to win playoff games if their pitching gets a little better. I need someone that could win me the division and get me games in the Bronx in October.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if Story's going to help me just as much as Correa, give me the 2 to 4 years for whatever he wants annually, which will be less than what Correa gets. But if he flops in the playoffs, we know that Judge performs in the playoffs. We know that Stanton performs in the playoffs. We have to hope DJ's back. And you know that Rizzo's going to show up.
You need LeMahieu to be
If
back
Rizzo
to what he
is-
was 2 years
I
ago.
mean, when the
He was
Yankees
the
are
best
playing
player-
their best
3 years
ball,
ago,
it's when
whatever it
DJ
was.
LeMahieu's hitting
Yeah.
like 380.
When LeMahieu's on, the Yankees are on. He is the whole
He's
team.
their workhorse. He barely even missed a game until last season.
Yeah, but if they can get games in the Bronx in October, I feel very confident. But that's been their issue, is having to go to Tropicana or Fenway.
Yeah,
Tropicana
it's a
blows.
disaster.
Stinks.
DJ's totally the key, though, for them. Right?
The Bronx,
He's totally-
getting
Agreed.
getting the playoffs
Yeah.
in the Bronx is a different animal.
It
It is.
It's an absolute mad. I mean,
Yeah,
that
before the
Didi-
first pitch, there's
that
just
Didi
beers
home run is
flying
just
around the
crazy.
air. Everyone's going crazy. It's
mean-
the best place to play as a home. It's in my opinion the best home field advantage because of how many of those doinks we get in the playoffs too, right into right field that other teams don't seem to get in the postseason. But it's the best place to play in the postseason. Fenway's a great place to play too. But last year the Yankees go to the second round if they have a home game in the wild card game because how many times did Stanton hit the top of that wall?
Yeah,
Fenway.
and that would have been
Like
gone.
three.
Yankee
Stanton
Stadium.
went like 4 for 4 with a home run to right and
Mhm.
3 balls off the monster.
I would kill to see a playoff game back at Citi Field. It's been so long. Those
It
games
was
were
electric.
I think they're the best.
2015.
They should be able to win that division this year. The
even if
Braves are
they
gonna get
don't,
worse.
they should get in as a wild card. They really should.
The
There's
Braves.
no excuse.
What's Acuna's time frame? Is he going to be back?
They?
Not
I
by
don't
March
think. I don't
31st.
think opening day. I don't think opening
I
day.
feel like it's like almost halfway through next year.
No, I think it's like May. I think May, June.
Acuna is eyeing a return in May. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little
so
after
closer.
opening
I'm
day.
sure it's
Maybe
a
even
while
opening
ago,
day,
though.
depending on how
Opening
this lockout continues to trend.
It's so
I don't think
annoying, man.
a May start is very drastic. I
Yeah.
think maybe a few weeks delayed, but I know the owners and Manfred do not want games canceled. They don't.
Yeah. If the Mets play to their best of their ability, though, they should win that division. They should.
They should. And
They're
they
a 93 to 98 win roster. Depending.
they
on
should
who
have
shows up.
last year
Yeah.
too. They should
Agreed.
have. They've
They should have last year. Rojas.
were-
There were
sucked.
plenty of
Rojas was a
winnable games
disaster.
last year.
Rojas sucked and had no control. And I know that report came out where they were getting fed so much information by their hitting coaches at the dish that they went up there thinking like every pitcher is Cy Young, which is just terrible. Like these
Yeah.
guys are
Yeah,
getting
you could
fed.
see the way they were swinging on off-speed pitches. It was
These
just
guys are
not-
getting
it
fed
was
too
off.
much information at the dish. And I like Eric Chavez. I watched his press conference. It was yesterday. I don't know when it was though. Live. I think he's going to be a big difference in this team. I really do. He was very well spoken and he said all the right things. But we got to see it. We got to see it on the
Yeah,
field.
and I think that Showalter will not allow a team to go on the field that can't hit a fastball.
No,
I mean,
absolutely not.
That
Because
was
Pete
a
Alonso
disaster.
cannot touch a fastball.
Pete Alonso was the easiest out.
The high and in fastball.
but he was our best
I'll
player,
do it
which
now.
is the
Yeah,
worst
but-
part.
which is the problem.
when you needed to get Pete out,
You could.
and a good pitcher was pitching, you knew how
Mhm.
to. The amount of times that I saw, I think it happened when the Yankees played. the
Probably
Mets,
did.
and they threw a curve, and Alonso went deep, and I'm like, I was either watching the Mets.
Oh
game
yeah, it
or-
was the doubleheader game, right? And
It was. You guys walked off in the 7th inning.
Yeah, it was that we had that insane.
I think it was Chapman
I
threw.
was
a
Yeah,
saying
slider.
Chapman
Chapman-
was on the field.
Chapman shouldn't. There was no.
Slider.
There was no reason why Chapman should have been
Chapman,
throwing.
because I remember like 2 innings
anything
earlier,
but
Pete comes
fastballs.
up and we just absolutely cleaned them out.
Blow 'em
Quick,
away,
3 high
yeah.
fastballs, and it was easy because they knew the scouting report. And then Chapman gets him 0-2 or 1-2 with 2 high fastballs,
Yeah,
and then he
off
throws him a
speed.
slider. And I was like, "What are you doing?"
You could put him away with a fastball right there if you want to.
There's another guy, Chapman. I don't know what's going to be his deal this year. Makes a lot of money. Did not have a great season last year. Is not the closer now. That's an interesting
Yeah.
one. Does he have any value to get moved? A closer that can't
I would
close?
I would assume so, honestly. If I feel like there's a couple teams that feel like they could turn him around. I mean, he
Because
throws
Loizaga
gas,
is definitely their guy. He was the best reliever in baseball
but
last year.
I would never feel comfortable throwing a guy like Chapman in a close game. Like if it's a situation like bases loaded and 2 outs, I don't trust him to not hit the guy.
Yeah,
I
Big
really
Red,
don't.
what is that deal?
Yeah.
What's that
What
deal
is
with
the
What's that deal?
Torres, right? He wasn't good last year.
Torres too, man. Oh,
He's
he's
bad.
terrible. I wanted him gone this whole season. I still wouldn't complain. I mean, we like to give him the pass as Yankees fans that he wasn't playing second base, but
Yeah, I mean,
guy sucked.
he
at the
was
plate.
terrible.
And
I
he
mean-
jogged. He's just such a lazy player, jogging down the first base line every time. There was one game against Tampa that we really could have used the win, and he had a pass ball, and he just walked up the first base line, and it would have won the game if he ran. And it was the most ridiculous thing.
There's nothing like in the summer when you're watching some collapse from the Mets or Yankees.
Oh yeah,
and then the next day,
Field of Dreams game too.
Then the next day you go on Carton and Roberts, and it's just a joy in the summer.
Yeah.
I love baseball season. I really do.
Baseball in the summer is the best, especially
Yeah,
with the way that
nothing
these two
really
teams are.
tops
Because
it.
our two teams, there's no in between. They're either great or it's just so disappointing.
Yeah, I mean it's
Because
always
even the Yankees last year won 92 games, 93 games, but it was very disappointing.
There's always something. There's always
it never
something.
felt like the team that could finally.
Yeah, you guys were very streaky. You would win a bunch of games and then you'd lose. And then
Because
you'd
we
win a
had
bunch
that, we
again,
had
but
that. We
you'd
were like
lose.
hovering around 500. Do you buy it the deadline or not? They get Gallo, who has to have a good season this year. Absolutely has to.
Gallo's
Had a
another guy.
terrible run with the Yankees after he was acquired. Has to have a good season. Cannot hit 200 with 3
Rizzo
home runs.
cooled off
like he did.
a lot too, right? After
Rizzo
his hot
had
start.
like
He came onto
47
the
home
Yanks
runs
and-
in 5 games
Yeah,
after
he
we
was
got him.
ripping
And
them.
then he got COVID and he was out for 2 weeks and he just never returned to that. But he sparked a run for us that finally, got the team going a little bit, which is why, I saw him play really good baseball, so I'm not upset. He's as good of a fielder as Freeman or Olsen, so I would not be upset if they brought him back. But those guys need to. Gallo has to have a big year for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a lot of money, so it was a good trade because they're not paying him. Exactly right. We need 230 average plus from Gallo, and we need him to hit 40 home runs, 35 to 40 home runs plus.
I mean, that sounds like a lot, but when you're Joey Gallo in Yankee Stadium, that's like chump change. I mean, you gotta do your job.
Can you handle the bright lights or not, man? That's what it comes down to.
I feel like that adds a mental game too. Like those walls are so close.
Yeah,
you're
and he
just
does
trying to get it
he does
over,
that
you're
like
trying to
heavy
rip
launch
it.
angle swing.
Yeah.
Where everything he hits is a pop up, but it's always a bomb if he gets into it. But if he doesn't actually get that pitch and get into it, it's not successful. So
Yeah, Gallo can be he can be clutch too. I mean,
we know Gallo can be.
all he has to do is make contact, and that ball.
yeah, Gallo
has
was
a
good in
chance of
Texas.
leaving
He's a
the
good player.
field.
He's a guy that I think he's playing for a contract this year, which is huge because Boris clients usually know how to play for a contract, except for Conforto.
Oh my god, dude, where's he gonna go? He's not coming back to us.
No, he's definitely out with the Mets.
Yeah, we'll get a nice comp pick for him, which is ending after this year. By the way, if you didn't, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
complex are
sure.
gone.
I'm
Lottery,
sure KB,
too.
you saw
Lottery
that.
is
yeah,
in.
lottery.
Yep.
Last
Comp
year we
picks.
get that we're milking it this year because we have that Rocker comp pick, and then we have the Conforto comp pick,
Wow,
We're
Rockers,
milking
that was
that.
a story, man.
Syndergaard comp pick. It's not gonna happen anymore after this year.
Yeah, right. That's a great point. Stanton has to play outfield daily because when he was DHing, he'd sit on that bench all day. He'd get up, quick K. The second they put him in left field, he's the best player in baseball. Good. All right,
I think
ready
we're,
to call it Super
think
Bowl
we're good.
weekend. Some
Super
good
Bowl
baseball
weekend,
stuff.
Baseball hopefully on the horizon after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Can't
So
wait.
exciting stuff. So our final Super Bowl picks, we want to just run through those again. I have the Rams 27-24.
You know what? I didn't pick an exact score. I like.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Let's
if you
go.
just wanna
No,
throw-
no,
and
no,
Aaron
no.
Donald's my MVP. as well.
We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll go Rams. I like. Yeah. Well, 26-20, 27-20. I like that. I think that's in the range of where I expect it to be.
Yeah, I like Rams 31-17. I'm gonna
So the
stick with
Bengals
mine.
won.
So yeah, the Bengals
Yeah,
are
lock the
going
Bengals
to win.
in 40-0.
You know what? I was torn all week, but now that
Now-
that we all picked the Rams on here, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so that's what'll happen.
The
And-
always
Bengals
been the
will
Bengals.
win. So
Not just
All
Matt.
right.
Congratulations, bud. Cash that 16.
Yeah. All right, thanks for those who stopped in.
Yeah, appreciate
Yeah.
it, fellas.
Hopefully,
Good one.
be doing these every weekend. Got some good.
Yeah,
some better
I think it's
interaction
better. I
than
think it's a
we
better
expected.
format.
It's a much better
Agreed.
format. Loving StreamYards, doing us a good service. All right. Good weekend to everyone. Hopefully, Super Bowl gives us some stuff to talk about next week. And then we're full head of steam into the baseball season. Hopefully, by next week, we have a off-season and a free agency occurring, but no guarantees there. Enjoy the weekend.
Yes.
Stay
Enjoy the
safe.
weekend, everyone.
Yep,
Don't drink
peace.
and drive on Sunday night. Get it
Yeah.
over. Later.